Yo, hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the podcast. I'm your host, Louis Pierre. It's been a minute. It's been a minute since the last episode. I've just been enjoying, quote unquote, being instead of always doing. So, it's been really hard for me to slow down, but, a lot of realizations came up for me, a lot of aha moments. Truly grateful for all the support through these last few months. While I've just been being. So really appreciate the support. If you don't know, we have an Instagram page. It's called the Empowered Podcast, which I'll get to. I'll actually change the name of the podcast as well. Go show some love on the Instagram page, and really appreciate it. So we've also changed I have also changed the podcast name to the Empowered Podcast. This podcast is for everyone. Doesn't matter what gender you are, ethnicity, shape, size, color. This podcast is for everyone, and the intention of the podcast is to help everyone, all the listeners out there, to maybe take one thing away from every episode, so that you can implement the tools or the advice that you get from any episode, and hopefully it'll be beneficial in your life. So we're back, better than ever, and my next guest is a special man who is running 300 kilometers over the Christmas New Year period in the next few weeks, all in the name of raising money for mental health. And this is a massive endeavor for someone to carry out, and nothing but gratitude and love and respect for this man. So please welcome my guest, Darwin Brooks. Welcome to the podcast, brother. How's it going?
Brother, happy to be here.
Shit. Like you just said before, man, like you felt like this was going to happen, and now it's happening, man. So
I think there's been kind of like the trend of events this whole year, calling things in. It's funny because that saying, when you're in a conversation and someone's like, fuck, it was crazy. Man, that was crazy. We say it all the time, right? Fuck, that was crazy. For me now, I'm like, when I hear that, it sounds like, or if I say it, it's like something that I feel like it's because it's unobtainable, or, it's out of reach. And, it's something that it's like, we're not capable of doing it, but once you actually do it, it's like it's not so crazy anymore, isn't it?
100%.
So this isn't crazy anymore. I'm here.
You're here, brother. Bro, we're here. You're in it.
That's
You're doing it.
That's it.
Huge acknowledgements to you, brother. Firstly, I just wanted to acknowledge you, bro, for jumping on here.
Thank you, my brother.
I know
Thank you for having me here.
Fact. Oh, you're welcome, man. Anytime. I know for a fact it's not easy. It's not easy to lean into discomfort for the benefit of others. Huge acknowledgements to you, bro. So I guess let's introduce yourself. So who are you, what do you do, and what are you passionate about, brother?
Who am I? Wow, that's probably a question that I've been asking myself a lot, and I still think that it's something that I'm trying to uncover. But in a nutshell, if we're talking about facts, my name is Darwin Brooks, born in the Philippines, had both my parents Filipino, had a little sister over there to my biological dad and my mother. Real father passed away at a very young age when I was about 2. And then mum remarried, moved to New Zealand at about the age of 6, around 6. Had my little brother, and then pretty much raised as a Kiwi. The whole lifestyle of fish and chips and whatnot. Raised as a Kiwi up until I was, left. I was there probably until 4 years ago, and for whatever reason, I'm here now in Sydney, and this is pretty much what I call home. So that's nice. Me in a nutshell, as far as, surface upbringing. And then I guess, what do I do? Currently, I'm working commercial property. I do sale and leasing, so suit by day, and then a creative. I don't know what the hell that means to me right now, but my passion and my spirit is to be in the creative field, but also I think that also means like connecting with people. Love to have like projects on the go. That's a little bit about me.
Nice, bro. And so we met like in the middle of winter. I think it was, I don't know, June, maybe July.
I think it was probably soon, a little bit. Yeah, actually no, it was because it was towards the end of.
It was bloody cold. It was bloody cold when I met you for the first time, and for you came down to one of the sunrise catch ups with some of the bros from Amend, and I can honestly say to you, brother, like getting to know you and just like taking a step back and just observing you as a person and just your growth since I first met you, it's just been phenomenal. It's just been absolutely huge just to get to know you and see your journey in such a short space in time. So yeah, man, just so you know, I got huge respect for you. Especially coming onto here. Like, it's not easy, bro, but you're doing it. So I guess going back to
thank
your
you, by the way, bro. Like, I struggle to take compliments, and that was something I've been working on. But I just want to say, fucking receive, bro, and I know it comes from a place of love, bro. So thank you.
100, brother, 100. So I guess speaking into, let's just address the elephant in the room, mate. Your 300-kilometer run that's coming up.
Yeah.
Far out. Like, take me. Let's start from the beginning.
So this is one of those crazy ideas, right? And I don't know exactly how it all started, but I guess me as a person, I've like, and this is something that my partner Linda on the daily has to deal with. It definitely tests her patience, but I think it's it's definitely formed a much more whole version of me that I'm comfortable and that I can be that person. And
for those that are not in the know, so Darwin has actually put his hand up and has volunteered to run 300 kilometers for mental health. And so sorry, carry on. Yeah.
No. Just I guess adding on to what you said, 300 Ks, and it'll be over 7 days. So each day will consist of just over a marathon. So what I'm looking to do is run a marathon every morning, or God willing, that morning. Otherwise, it'll be during the day. Each day for 7 days. Then we'll start in Coffs Harbour, New South Wales, and head up to Miami in Queensland between end of December to beginning of January, en route to see my little brother who lives up there. So and obviously the cause which I've been promoting and getting behind is mental health, but also I think self-empowerment and really tapping into yourself. And it's something I think I'm sure it's been addressed, but very relevant in today's society given the circumstances. But why I'm so passionate about this is because I'm speaking from experience and what the support that I've had from it, and I think if I can get it, then all I'd love to do is at least give it back to one person. So if we can raise as much awareness for this, and funds to be able to get people for this cause, for essentially the workshops that have helped me, but also a lot of other people, then that's one more person that we can touch and hopefully bring some more light into. So I mean, brother, you know the work. You know the work, brother.
I know it.
It's an everyday battle. So.
Doesn't stop, and
yeah,
it's one of the common misconceptions is that when you do practice the work or inner work of some kind, you're perfect, and it's not. That's definitely not the case. It's like you said, it's something that you have to just work on daily.
Yeah.
With your awareness, which we'll drop into later. But in terms of your 300 kilometer run, bro, why 300? Where did that idea come from?
Well, it's actually pretty simple. It started off as Newcastle. I was going to start from Newcastle, and I thought, fuck, man, I don't even know when I'm going to find the time. Like, that's probably going to be 2 weeks, and then
Newcastle.
my partner.
Isn't that wouldn't that be like an extra
300?
300?
It's an extra 300 on top. And then I thought to myself, like, I spoke to my partner about this, and it's always like, initially it's like, there's an idea, and she lets me kind of sit with it. It's like, let him have his fun for a little bit. And then like, slap in the face is like, babe, by the way, I'm also here in this relationship. But it's a beautiful thing that we can have those conversations now.
Yeah.
And it started off as Newcastle to Queensland, and then we've obviously only got X amount of time at the end of the year to, have our time as well. Plus the physical aspects.
Yeah.
So, I thought, this is, and even then, like 300 still. It could be seen as unrealistic, but week.
I'm getting sore legs just thinking about 300 Ks.
I get sore legs every day thinking about it. Yeah,
but credit to you, man. That's huge.
Yeah,
but I mean,
a week. And the other thing is, sorry to interrupt. It came because of also the concept of Chooseday to Chooseday, and why the name Chooseday to Chooseday. So it was a span of a week, and I was like, well, what can we achieve in a week? And essentially, like every day, the reason behind I called it, why I called it Chooseday to Chooseday, because every day you choose yourself. It shouldn't just be Tuesdays, even though you start off with Tuesday just to begin. It's every day.
Absolutely.
So every day I'm choosing me on this run, and by choosing me, hopefully that will just have a domino effect to everything else in my life. And if you can kind of live by that mantra, and it's not to say it's like the right mantra to live by, but choosing yourself every day, and it's something I've learned. And some days you can't, because fuck, we're human, we're not machines, and that's okay. But that's essentially the gist of why 300, 7 days, what I can get in there, and then the distance physically.
Yeah, I mean, most definitely. Like we were discussing this before, and there's going to be a lot of self-discovery on that.
Oh, bro!
On that 300 kilometer run, and I mean, just the only time that you ever get the most powerful realizations is when you're doing something that's fucking hard. When you've got when you're almost, even those near-death experiences, like this is almost like there, where you've just got to push yourself. And I mean, man, it's kind of you just got to go to that place.
Yeah, 100%.
And so, how can someone support this?
So we do have a page, a fundraising page. If you just jump on My Cause, and then you type in Chooseday to Chooseday, you'll find it. Otherwise, I've got an Instagram with live updates. The Instagram's called Chooseday to Chooseday. So
and that's the day Chooseday, the number 2, and then Chooseday, CHOOSEDAY. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And all proceeds go to tickets for the workshops held by men's and women's. So as much as this has been a focus on the men's side of things, it's also understand obviously that it's also very, very big for the female side, all the queens and all the sisters out there as well. So
absolutely.
If we can raise as many many tickets as well. That's one less thing someone has to think about, especially if they want to, be coming into that space, because it's hard enough trying to like be vulnerable, let alone come to a workshop.
100%.
So if you can make it as easy as possible to just provide that for someone, fuck man, like why not?
And we always say like the hardest part of going is getting there,
bro. Getting there,
like walking through the door. Like how many countless times have we spoken about mental health workshops in general? It could be mental health workshops, seminars, could be a therapy session. The hardest part to attending one of those is actually walking through the door. Like we've had countless number of people come up to us and say they sat in the car for like an hour wondering whether they should enter, but by the end of it, they've come out the other side and it's changed their life. So for you to put yourself through through the 300 kilometer run so others can benefit, I mean, from a changing society standpoint, mate, it's just amazing. It's you're such a selfless person, man. So
bro, there's so many people before me that have done that for me, like if you think about, I'm going to speak now with one of my best friends, Leroy, who fucking nagged me so much about doing breath work, man, like beginning of this year, and I was like, bro, I'm good, I can breathe for free. He's like, come to a breath work session. I was like, breath work? What the fuck is breath work?
Yep.
And finally got me to one of those sunrise sessions, and that was him stepping out of his way to get me to somewhere he knew that would benefit me. And quite often you just don't know what the result's going to be, but there's that whole idea of like belief, whatever belief might look like to you. We do it every day. We step out of the door. Well, most people, if you drive, you stay in your lane, the person coming at you stays in their lane. You believe that they're going to stay in their lane and you're going to stay in yours, and there's going to be no accidents. That's a belief. We believe that people are going to be good. We believe that the person you see on the daily is going to treat you the way you want to be treated. And if you have a little bit of belief, all you need is a bit of guidance to just get it to where hopefully it sits well with you, so then you're fucking happy for the rest of your life. Or at least try and be. So
far out. That's for those listeners who are like, that's a different perspective on things. 100%. I guess I wanted to go back to how you said, what were you talking about? You were saying something about, I was talking about the work previously. Let's backflip on this and let's talk about you growing up, bro, in New Zealand. So you moving from the Philippines and going to New Zealand, and I guess how did that mold you into who you are today? Like, what was your upbringing?
At the time, and I look at it now, like at the time, I actually had a pretty amazing, upbringing, in the sense that, if I compare it to like what I see the upbringing of like where kids are at now, the only thing I had to be worried about was making sure I was home before the lights turned on.
Yeah.
Otherwise, or the street lights turned on. Otherwise, man,
game over.
Game over.
Honestly, man, like I got a couple of mates that are listening right now, and I always used to say, hey, I got to get home before the street lights turn on, and they'd always used to mock me hard. Like they'd be like to this day, I got a good mate back in New Zealand, and every time we catch up, he's like, oh, you got to get home before the streetlights turn on? I'm like, fuck. Come on, man. You know who you are. You know who you
100%.
But, okay, so you had a good childhood. That's awesome, man.
Yeah. Well, I think generally pretty good. Like, I come from a pretty nurturing family. But there's definitely, looking back on a few things, there was definitely a few things that I definitely couldn't avoid, and it's not due to anyone's fault, but it's definitely shaped me to some of the things that I definitely have had to deal with and unpack and unravel, because as an adult, a lot of these things have just played out in my life. And coming from Philippines to New Zealand, I spoke no English. Like, I actually remember my teacher, Jackie. Man, I remember because she just had the coolest hair all the time, but she was so lovely. And I was like, what do I call people? In my head, like, you know, if you don't know the language, you just sit there.
Yeah.
You know? And as a kid, man, kids can be fucking harsh, man. Like, the teasing, the mocking, and like, it might seem harmless, but that shit plays out in your adult life. Like, think about it now, right? And from like a very young age, everything was all about, looking back on it now, like validation and acceptance. Validation to be part of something in the culture of New Zealand, but then also having a stepdad. And I love him, man. Like, everything he's taught me. Like, I'm making these plant stands at the moment. He used to always drag me into his garage. I'm like, fuck, I can't remember. I can't believe I still remember some of these skills. But he was pretty old school, man, and he's like pretty classic old English, traditional. You know, dad goes to work, mum stays at home.
Yeah.
And like, just having his acceptance was always something that I was seeking, and he just showed me tough love. Like, I think he might have told me a couple of times he loves me. And even up until he passed away a few years ago, it was hard, like, to have those conversations, because that's all he knew. That's how he was brought up, and I don't hold anything against him, because that's what he was taught, and that's all he could deal with. But yeah, my upbringing, you know, pretty standard child, primary school, friends, bikes, holidays and whatnot. And then it wasn't until I think I got to high school. So I'm from Wellington originally, which is a pretty small town, or small city, like everyone pretty much knows. I think that's New Zealand in general, right?
Yeah. When you come here, it's like Wellington is so small. Like, yeah, when you're here, Sutherland Shire especially.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. Growing up there, high school became like a bit of an eye opener, in the sense that everything just like is heightened. So like, that idea of like hanging out and playing isn't anymore. It's like hanging out and pleasing. You know, whether it's your peers or like social crowds, not just in the social aspect, but like sports. You know, and I'm naturally a competitive person, so it's like you were saying before, like, you attract what you are, and if you're a competitive person, you'll have competitive friends. And all of my friends, I'll use this as an example. All of my best friends played soccer. We were all in the first 11. You know, we were all into the school. Like, we all became house captains. Like, I remember, like, growing up, everything we did, even though it wasn't really competing, it was still competing, you know. And it wasn't just like, oh, what he's doing. It's like, oh yeah, he's just got that skateboard and those shoes. Like, how come I don't have that?
Yeah,
you know. And so you don't really think much of it at the time, but you look back on it now and you're like, fuck, if I'd known how to actually deal with that, it wouldn't be that much of an issue, because it's just played out in everything else in my life. You know, from being at work, how do I fit in? And naturally, I think as a human, that's all you want, right? Is you want to be felt, you want to be heard, you want to be seen. And if you're not content with yourself, it's a fucking anxious feeling, man. Like, there'd be fucking times, and I'm bringing this back now to like fast forwarding it to, you know, my like working career life, in social circles, like when you start drinking, recreational drugs, you name it, all the things that kind of just suppress shit And at the time, it's fucking fun. Don't get me wrong, man. I've had some fun times, but there's been also times where I'm like, I've just done that to blow myself up, because actually there's been some shit deep down that I'm not fucking dealing with, because I'm not fucking happy in here.
But at the time, you're not aware.
You're not aware.
It's just normal.
Yeah, 100%. You know.
But it's when you're in this inner work and you're actually doing the work that you're like, oh my fucking gosh, and you start putting the pieces of puzzle together, God. And you're like, oh my, what have I been doing all this time? But I guess if you look at, you know, everything with a silver lining, you've caught it. Whereas, you know, you look out, you go outside and you look at everyone walking on the street, and you're just like, fuck, only if they had the awareness that you have.
Yeah.
You know. But no, I feel you, brother. I feel you. Sorry for interrupting you.
No, all good. It's true though. I'll tell you one thing though. With that awareness, it's a fucking blessing and a curse, because you can't switch it off, man.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, it's going to turn it on today. I'm going to be fucking aware, and then come home. Actually, just want to switch it off. And I actually found this the other day when we went live with the cause. And this really got me. We went live with the cause, and I wasn't prepared for this. But all the amazing messages that came through, it was like overwhelming. Like, I fucking loved it. But it was nearly like, I spoke to a friend about this, really good friend of mine, Rose, who helped me kind of guide me through it, because she gets this on the daily, right? And I said, fuck, I'm just like, it's nearly like defeating the purpose of who I am right now, because up until like probably 4 weeks ago, the work to me meant that I had to be super present. So like technology, I went off Instagram for 2 years, and I only really went back on nearly 2 months ago, because I wanted to start, you know, putting the pieces into place for this cause. But also I just felt like I wanted to tap back into that, and I've had this like really magnet, like I've noticed and I've been consciously aware of this magnetism I have to my phone again, which I was like, I know that's not me being present. And when those messages came in, the difference this time was, it wasn't of validation for me. It was like, what that person had to do to write that message, to think of that, to have the courage to message me, a stranger, some of these people. And it was heartfelt messages, you know, really fucking opening them. I could have just been like, fuck, man, you're good? Like, you need to see someone, or like, you know, I could.
Yeah.
You don't know what they're going to respond, right? So for me, I'm like, I tried to put myself in their shoes, but also I feel it, like I feel it. And that's been the difference, is like, I feel everything. I try and like I try and go about the way of like translating my thoughts to my words, to my actions, which as soon as I feel it, I'm like, fuck, that's where I know I'm being present. And when I respond to these, I really want to sit down and digest and be like, fuck, actually, I felt that, thank you, acknowledge, and then respond the way I should, right? And I was like, it was taking so much time. Like, if you think one person might, and this is me not being, me not feeling like I'm not super grateful, because I am, but just to explain things. And this is how Rose, my friend Rose, she's got her organization, and she's just like, this is how she deals with it. She was like, just think, Darwin, like, yes, it's been amazing, and people might have taken like 30 seconds or a minute, however long, but if you've got like multiple messages coming at you, that's like multiple that you have, that you know, and you can't not respond the way you do. Yeah. So that's taking time and energy out of these other things that
100%
have been serving you so well.
Yeah.
You know, and has been who you are. So now, like, this routine that's made you who you are, has just been thrown out of kilter.
Yeah.
but for a good thing. Like it's been absolutely for a fucking good thing.
Yeah.
But I just wasn't prepared for it.
No, I get what you're saying, brother, and it's always something that I always am conscious about is, guarding of our own energies. And that means the same thing as physically looking at your phone and mentally, should I check my phone? Should I actually be thinking about that property that I need to be selling, or should I be here? And no, 100%. And I feel right now, I feel like I always have to catch myself because, I always such a solution-orientated person. I'm trying to find a solution to your problem.
Bro.
But I feel like I'll let you sit with that, brother. And I know you know what's right for you. And, don't let me bias your journey by giving you what I would do. So, no, I think, that's a difficult one, especially when, you don't want to be an asshole and not say anything back and just double tap it. But at the same time, put self first.
Yeah. Oh, I had another friend that said that. She's like, that's even my sister. She was like, don't let this cause be the reason why you don't become this person that you are. That you don't turn away from actually the person that you have become.
Yeah.
People will respect and acknowledge you for who you are, and not so much like everything else. And sometimes people can wait.
Yeah.
And that's just your expectation of yourself.
And this is when it comes back to awareness.
Awareness
can be a fucking curse, or it can be positive.
I know.
It's like, am I too aware? Am I? It starts going around in circles in your head.
I nearly wanted to just have like levels. Can I just dial down the awareness today? It's not, and it's the thing is like, it's not like you wake up and you go, how am I going to be today? Because the universe will throw you a curveball.
100%.
And you're just like, okay.
You're like, I'm ready for the day, and then you walk out the door, and 2 minutes in, you get a curveball, and you're like, 100%. And I mean, I can relate, bro. And like, I know for a fact, like, your line of work is high pressure. There's a lot of, and this is what we spoke about before. Same with me, like in the construction, engineering world, project management world, all that shit. Like, it's pretty cutthroat. It's all logical thinking. It's all numbers. It's all words. It's all up here. It's all up in the head, and nothing from the heart. And
the machine.
Through the machine and through the work, it has just allowed. This is speaking from my experience. It's just allowed me to drop from my head down to my heart.
Yeah. But
there are times when I get mixed up, and I'm still working on it. I'm still like, if I'm talking to someone and I actually mid-sentence need to like mentally take a step back and be like, okay, how am I going to respond to this, Lewis? Am I going to respond with, like what I usually do, like when I'm at work, or am I going to actually like take the opportunity to like see what's actually happening in there, in my heart, and I do feel that it's like two voices talking, and sometimes I'm listening to both where I should be listening to one. Like, there's a time and a place for both. But I feel like when it comes to being at home, or like when it comes to personal, it's like, especially for men, because like we're just been taught to be tough mentally, not show emotion, and all emotion, man. It's all sourced from the heart, and so for me personally, I'm always working on trying to tap into that, to my heart set, I should say. But I'd love to hear your perspective on how your career, or and I guess if now you've got the awareness, how now you can see what's happened in your life and how everything's played out to where you are now, surely, like, because I can relate my experiences and to where I am now. Surely you could potentially do the same thing.
It's definitely, I've thought about that and tried to plant seeds that will hopefully flourish accordingly. But firstly, bro, I just want to acknowledge you for that, man. Just what you just said, because like that dropping from your head to your heart, we definitely don't do that enough. Males, but also the sisters. Like, I think when you're an adult, and especially when you have responsibilities, if you know, for those who have kids or have to look after other people other than yourself, then dropping into your heart and knowing what's good. And it's that intuition as well. You know it, but sometimes we just struggle to act on it.
Yeah.
So that's awesome, bro. Like, fuck, it doesn't happen enough for men, because there's such a stigma around being like, fuck, nah, I can't show emotion, have to be this person. And that's, if anything, that does so much more worse, and it quantifies whatever fucking issue that you have to deal with, you know.
Yeah. It's like the masculine and the feminine energies, which, you know, masculine you could almost say is more head thinking, and feminine is more heart. Like that's my perspective on it anyway. But so far out.
With the career?
Why real estate? How did you end up in where you are today? Senior executive, eh?
Oh man, I don't even know why they gave me that title. It's commercial real estate. When I got when the opportunity was there, I was back in Wellies, and I was working retail, but younger, and I just didn't really, did design at school. That was my passion. I was always like a creative, like from a young age. I remember being in high school, bro, like 14. I was doing bombings, like drawing, and I'd go down to the local printing shop, put them on t-shirts and jerseys and sling them off for like $20, and that was my food money, or like my hangout money. It's that's a case of beers for the boys that weekend. So like I was always creative in that sense, that I loved doing that kind of stuff. And I just didn't have, I guess, the capability of knowing how to put that into something that would turn into a career for me. And whether that was because I just didn't have the motivation, or
risk.
The risk, I was like too scared, or I don't know what it was. I can't really pinpoint it. But as soon as I was given this opportunity, I thought, fuck it. But something new, something different, why not? And I even remember just like going into my first day, and I was like, they were like, oh, yep, just, when you respond, like, emailing. I was like, how do I even fucking respond in email? What is an email? Like, dear, what was those ones saying? Dear, in my head, I was like, oh shit, I really didn't think about this, man.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what the fuck have I got myself into? But with anything, right, if you want to try and do well in it, you're just going to search whatever, ask. And I wasn't scared of asking, in this case at least, and I was, first couple of years was pretty tough, because the industry was a bit of a shock. Like, everything's so formal and hierarchy. And to be this person, when in fact, like, it's just driven by this machine of what corporate is. And if you weren't that, you kind of were like, even just like, wearing a tie, and it's like, oh fuck. At first, don't get me wrong, bro, like when I chucked on that first suit, I was like, fuck, I feel like I'm a boss. Let's go. But now I'm like, oh man, I can't wait to get this uniform off.
You got one of those ones already tied up, just with the string around it.
Let's go. But look, man, as far as what commercial property has done for me in the industry, like up to this day, I'm super grateful for it, because I've met some amazing people along the way. The opportunities, like I was able to move to Australia with it, and it's with anything, man. It has its good side, bad side, really ugly side, and really beautiful side, and I've been able to appreciate everything. But I think again, there's work, and then there's also my passion, and how that will unfold, I have no idea. But I think now I'm navigating it to a place where I'm like not gutted that I'm not there, because I'm like, I'm still enjoying it.
Yeah. The process
of it.
Yeah.
But it's not like the be all end all for me, and that's not taking anything away from who I work for, because they're amazing. Like, I've just changed to a new company. And like I said again, like everyone who I've met and up until this point have been majority of people.
There's always a couple, bro. There's always a couple. There's
a few bad apples in there.
Like, morning.
How was the weather? Yeah, good.
How's your weekend? Oh, thanks. Me too. Great weekend. Nah. Yeah. But I guess I forgot what I was gonna say. But yeah, I can 100% relate to you with high pressure and just it started to affect me at home. Just being this guy that, one, would never switch off, wasn't aware that my balance was out of whack, was always thinking about work. I'm not sure what it's like in your line of work, but you're always on call. You got
Pretty
people
much
that might call you, and just
anything that involves a transaction, even though you're offline from whatever time, you're still on call, because that like that's potentially going to be a transaction or work towards that.
And there's KPIs you probably have to. So
we're in a revenue earning business, so you gotta.
Money talks.
That's it, brother.
Money makes the world go around.
Unfortunately.
But I for a long time I would say that I was just a straight logical thinker, and I think it would stem from my childhood, which was really like we didn't really speak about feelings at all ever. It was always like just get on with it, hurry up, go, like just get the result that we need. And I think that was just the way that everything just played out. So never really like, I can't even remember the last, like, until I started this work, like, even like what was the last time I cried? Like, I couldn't even remember. Like
what do you think that is like growing up as a kid, right? And our parents, I mean, they didn't have tools, if anything. But like, if you think even about like what you watch,
everything. Like you said that it was all about popularity or attention, like growing up. And when you think about the programs that we watch, whether it's like, I don't know, there's Saved by the Bell, or all those things that you see on TV. There's always an in and out crowd, and then there's always like, oh shit, okay, if I want to be liked, then I need to be this way. Like, that's one contributing factor. There's social media these days, which even like perpetuates it even more.
Oh man.
Then there's media. It's just the Western world these days. I feel like it's
a again, it's like a blessing and a curse, because if you know how to make it serve you instead of you serve that, then it works. It's not it's not such a bad thing.
But that's the thing, you're aware of it. Whereas I would say 95% of people that are out there are not aware.
And don't get me wrong, man, I still fucking fall into that trap, bro. Like, there's still days I'm like, oh fuck, should I just spend an hour on fucking social media? Like, man, I could have been making dinner. Now it's like 9 o'clock and I'm fucking dead tired. I just want to go to sleep.
But like, it's a tool. Like, if you've got a message that you want to get across, whether it's like this podcast, or if it's to help people, genuinely help people, then it's a tool that that you should use. But if you're out there, and I know some people that have been negatively affected by social media to the point where they're compulsively lying, turning a fake. Their fake reality is now their new truth, and so they've got to keep it up. Their lies. It's just, I've seen a very toxic result.
Yeah, it's compounding, eh?
Yeah, and I've seen how it can be positive. And I guess it's all comes back, with everything. It's just your intention for using it. And at the end of the day, if you feel that you're going to get more value out of spending an hour replying to people, or spending an hour with your kids, like if you feel like one's going to be better and feel no guilt, and that's up to you. But
what you said there about intentions, I think that's probably the key there. Like even your intention of receiving like that info, you can decide whether to play into that. Something you don't like, and then that's triggered me, I'm going to fucking comment. You've just played into that intention of what that person's saying. But if you see something good and you're like, fuck, and it's flick the switch for you to bloody do something good, then it has it. There is the good social media. It's even like that whole thing with like ego. Like even everyone, generally, it's ego seems to be like a negative thing or something they should try and eliminate. But there is also such a thing as a healthy ego.
Yeah.
But most of the time, ego fucking gets the better of us, and it's not good. But with anything, man, the yin and the yang. Without the good, there is. Without the good, there isn't the bad. Well, the other way around.
Yeah, there's a good and a bad side to everything, I would say.
Pretty much. That's the gist of it.
Yeah, it's just, it all comes down to your intention. And, I guess with social media or anything that you do, if you've got a bad intention, just don't believe that a good outcome's going to come out, going to be at the end. So, of anything that you do, whether it's a deal at work, whether it's whether it's in a relationship, if your intention is to be,
and you can feel it as well.
You can.
It's like it's on your shoulder. You can feel it, and you're like down in your guts. You're just like fuck, but you just did it. Yeah,
absolutely, bro. I guess. Were you always like a connoisseur of self-development or personal growth prior to us meeting at that Sunrise catch-up? Like, were you always like?
That's an interesting question, because I think I'd probably say no. And the reason why I say no, well, certain aspects. The way I see things now is like you've got the 4 pillars. You've got your physical set, and this is from a book I've read. By the way, if you haven't read it. It's amazing. The 5 a.m. Club by Sharma.
I love that guy,
bro.
He's the man.
There is some amazing.
That guy needs to make some more podcasts. He's like, he dropped one back in March, and I'm like, hurry up, mate. Can you give me another one?
Bro, I took so many takeaways, and the main one for that was, 5 a.m. Club, just the idea of it, getting up early and winning your morning. But your 4 pillars, so your physical, just looking after your physical set, your mindset, your emotional set, and then the one that a lot of us probably dismiss and probably don't really believe in is your spiritual set. And as far as like self-development, I think I've always worked on the physical, but everything else, I don't even know what the hell. I wouldn't even know where to start. If you look at spiritual, even in today's world, it's becoming a lot more apparent that that's such an important factor. You've got all these retreats, yoga, meditation. They're so easily accessible through apps or groups or communities, and it's amazing. But back in the day, there's nothing really there, right? Like now, like, oh, bro, you keen to go do a meditation in the morning? Yeah, bro, keen.
Yeah.
Fuck, go 10 years back, man. Like, if someone said that to me, I'm like, meditation? You're right, man?
Yeah, meditation breathwork.
What the fuck?
Is that?
Yeah, I just got a case of, like, I just got a box.
Yeah.
Ready to go.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're right. You're right, man. It's like the new vegan, like meditation.
Yeah.
Like how it's the new thing to do.
So self-development, I think it's along with like mental health. It's part and parcel.
Part and parcel, absolutely.
Like if you need help with that, whether you're receiving or giving that, it comes to self-development. It comes to awareness. It comes to empowering you individually, so then you can be that person for others. I think it's unavoidable, right? And this is the thing, is like, you don't have to be clocking it in all of those pillars, because it's like you can never clock. It's like, oh, bro, I just clock life. It's not like a game.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh man, we're going to put on Alex the Kid and get to level whatever it is.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Because there's some days I know that I need to meditate because I need to fucking ground myself. I know I need to go and just take myself away, sit for 5 minutes and just let it all in, but I won't. Because my ego, for whatever reason, I'm trapped in the matrix and I can't unplug.
Yeah.
And so as long as I think it goes back to that whole awareness, as long as you're aware that there are these things you need to work on, self-development, it's an ongoing, it's a work in progress. It's always a work in progress. And I think what you said before was about people in the work, or anyone being in the work, they can be seen as like, oh, well, they must have sussed their shit out. Fuck no.
It's completely opposite.
Yeah. It's not to say it's like, the other way around, but it just means that, it's, and did you find this, like, when the highs are high, they're so fucking high because you're like, I'm present in it. I'm so grateful for it. I'm so thankful. Fucking love you for this.
Yeah.
But then when it's like low or something challenging, you're like, why me? Why fucking me? Why now? Like, I'm trying to do this work. I'm doing this and this and this. Why? Why the fuck?
I think, brother, for me, the inner work has allowed me to have the awareness that when I have the highs, I can squeeze every fucking drop out of every high. When I have my lows or challenges, which are inevitable, they become a better quality of a challenge, if that makes sense, if that's possible. So to have the awareness just allows me to consciously choose how I'm going to react to it, whether before it was just automatic, but now I allow the challenge to marinate, and then I can then think, fuck, okay, how am I going to... And don't get me wrong, this is not everything. There's sometimes I get triggered as fuck and I revert back to the way I always am, but then I come back and I'm like, okay, Lewis, you reacted, you didn't respond, you fucking totally, you went out of, you're out of left field. Like I should have gone about it a better way, but it's only because my awareness I was able to do that. Whereas before I wouldn't have even had a second thought. I would have just said, fuck it, that's just the way I am, and that's just the way I'm always going to be. So I guess, the inner work, and we'll get into like what is inner work, but again, it's just me dropping from up my head down to my heart and just thinking, okay, fuck, like what is actually important to me, and the way I'm reacting or the way that I'm responding to this challenge, is that going to help me to live, through what is important to me in abundance, or am I just shutting it off? am I taking away from what's really important to me? So it's like the easiest way that I can explain it. Yeah.
Can I ask, when you say what's important to you, did you uncover that through the work, or is that something that you've always had and then the work's just like, really supported you and made things more clearer?
I had a fair idea of what was important to me prior to, beginning this inner work, this journey of mine. And I got these based on like books that I have read in the past, and what are your values, what are your priorities? But and then when I started, really dropping in, it just confirmed what I already knew, and it all starts with self. And if you don't put yourself first, and as selfish as people may think that this is, it's not, because you're actually putting yourself first for others.
Yeah,
and
100%.
We tend to, I forget it sometimes. I will sometimes, put my needs second, and then I'll just be a fucking asshole because I know that I'm not putting myself first. Whereas, if I'm out there, putting myself first, like morning routine, whether that's doing meditation or, getting my win in the morning before everyone else wakes up, I'm going to be the best version of myself for that day.
Yeah, totally agree, bro.
And that plays out everywhere. So, I know a lot of people that are out there serving, pouring from an empty cup because they just haven't got the awareness that they need to fill their own up first.
Yeah.
And when we've said this on this podcast millions of times, but when you fill your own cup up, that's the only way that you can pour into others.
Flow it out, man.
Yeah,
and
bro.
You can't give what you don't have, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
totally
being here with you, bro, and being with the other brothers in the Mend, like, man, my cup is a fountain.
It's a waterfall, brother.
So when I go home, and my wife can vouch for this, but when I come home after a workshop weekend, or just even catching up with the sun, like sunrise, I come back and I'm just light as a feather.
I'm the same, bro. I even get to the point where I'm just like, I jump in the car. Are you all right, man? And like, I'm just saying all this, and you can just feel it, right? Because you can't. It's like it's unavoidable.
Yeah.
And even like the thing what you just said before, like in the morning getting that win, that also works as well in the evening, because you get the mayhem of out there, but we also forget that like you got to leave that at the door, and however you choose to just go right now, I need to choose me, because as soon as I walk in that door, I can't let that mayhem that I've had to deal with, whatever my emotions or whatever my thought process and energy has been with that, come into that space of what's important in my life, which is, in most cases, family. So it's so important, man. And whether it's like an hour in the morning, 2 minutes, however, whatever it takes, I think, for you to get there, it's like the power of the human spirit and what you can do, and how that helps, man. It goes a long way. And before, like, the idea of that, you just be like, fuck, man, are you serious? Like, just sitting there. And if you think about it, bro, as well, before you started doing the work, it's actually quite a hard thing to do, sitting there in stillness. Like, when was the like, I'm going to ask everyone, when was the last time you sat by yourself, and not because you're tired, not because it's the end of the night and you're like, fuck, I'm ready to go to sleep, but in the morning, wake up, and you just sat there and you just took everything in? Because I tell you now, there is still going to be an urge to want to feel like you need to do something. You need to be somewhere. You need to pick up your phone. And if you can somehow navigate your way to not have that feeling or that thought process, it's a beautiful thing, man.
Or even the thought of, oh shit, I need to email that person.
Yeah.
Or I need to sort that thing out today. or like I need to get those Christmas presents, or all that, like just to, and that's meditation, to be honest.
That's meditation.
Yeah.
Meditation doesn't have to be like, and it can be that, like go somewhere and see things, and like there is that side. I think there's levels and realms and different ways of it. But I think, in short, for someone who's never done it, meditation is essentially just taking yourself and just being at peace with yourself and just letting it be, And fuck, if you can practice that at least once in a wee while, doesn't have to be every day, man. It helps a lot, man. It's definitely helped me. I'm sure it's helped a lot of other people that we've done the work with.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just about to say something, but I forgot what I was going to say. Actually, I just remembered. And I guess when it comes down to anything that we do, it all starts with intention. And so, like I was saying, is when you want to go and get that win in the morning, when you go to the gym or go and do that workout, like, what's your intention? Is your intention to go in the gym and, get bigger? Or is it in there to push yourself so you can be better for your children? You can't, is it so you can push yourself so then you can be that example? What's your intention with everything that you do? Even the intention with your meditation. Is your intention with your meditation to get answers? Is it there to are you there to sit in stillness? So I think with anything, like, yes, you could be in the work and then just go through the motions, or you could be doing inner work and consciously choosing everything that you do, everything that you think about, how you react. And we're not going to get it perfect every time, but that's just because we're human.
Yeah, and that's a beautiful part about it, because when you don't get it, you fucking learn some from it. Yeah, and you go, man, I am only human, because that's the love and the process of it, right? Yeah. But even that idea of like intention, if I just had to just think about that really, and I'm like, fuck. Some days I actually don't have, my intention isn't actually what I think. I know it's in my heart, and I've just had to just check myself then. Yeah. Because the intention's completely different. So, hey babe. My beautiful partner's just walked in.
All good.
But yeah, I think for me, the intention is, I actually think, because it got me thinking, I was like, it's on acceptance.
Yeah.
And the bigger part, like, that's part of that whole work that I've been doing. But also, like, if I break it down as far as like, and I'm going to use running as a pretty simple way of putting it for me. I used to run, and sometimes I don't now without my watch, because as soon as I look at my watch, I'm like, man, I'm 10 seconds slower than that last lap. So what is my intention? Is my intention now to be the best? And if that is your intention, all good. But for me now, it's like acceptance, because acceptance was something that I did not allow in my life, which gave me so much pressure to be this person, which I didn't accept, and I didn't accept myself. Like, I didn't accept myself. Therefore, I was trying to be always this external.
Play it out everywhere.
Yeah. So yeah, man, like acceptance, bro. Like when I run now, you don't have to be the fastest. Just finish. Just accept that you're not going to be always doing quick times. Accept that you can have a shit day running, that you might not finish. That's all good. Because in my head back in the day, if I don't accept that, I fucking beat the shit out of myself up here. And the feeling and the emotions that was attached to that triggered everything else in my life. I'd snap at someone because I was like, it wasn't even them. It had nothing to do with them. I was pissed off at me, but I got triggered by that. So I let it out on that person. So yeah, as far as intentions, that's a really big one because we talk about it in the mornings and even in our workshops. What is your intention, right?
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be this massive thing. Like it's like, my intention is to conquer the world and be a hero.
Sometimes mine is just to survive the day,
bro. Yeah, just like get through the day.
Yeah.
I learned a really important thing like growing up in soccer. Halftime, the coach would, and I learnt this because when I did coaching for a couple of years, kids can only consume so much when you talk to them at halftime. If you tell them too many things, it gets a bit too much.
Like a few words, and that's the max.
But you just teach them two things.
Yeah.
Like, just defend and try your hardest. As an example, it's like, okay, I can do that. And it can be the same with like your intentions. If you wake up, what is your intention today? And I go back to that podcast you did with CJ with affirmations. You do your affirmations, believe it, fucking feel it in here that you are what you are going to say.
Yeah.
And then set that intention of like, because once you've got that feeling, you set your intention, your body just goes. They call it the big mo.
Yeah.
Momentum, push yourself, and subconsciously your intentions will be set. And whether you're in a situation, in the back of your head what your intentions are.
Yeah. I guess another perspective on what you just said, brother, is when you say that, your intentions don't have to be huge, they don't have to be world conquering intentions. It's all like, this is a journey, and it's inch by inch journey. And I guess the biggest thing that's coming up for me right now is like patience. Like patience, acceptance that this is a journey that's you're not going to change as a person. Same thing as, success and goals in business. Like, you're not going to be where you want to be tomorrow.
Yeah.
And that can be self-development, could be inner work, can relate to all things, that you aspire to be. It's not going to happen overnight.
You don't even know what tomorrow looks like.
Yeah.
You could fucking be hit by a car. Next, God willing it doesn't, but you
know. 100%. It's just all about consistency and, continuing to do what means, what's in here. And if you continue to do that, I don't see you going wrong. If you just kind of be yourself, your authentic self, you got no issues in terms of inner work. But yeah, just like anything, patience is huge. And so just acceptance of, like you said, acceptance of where you are now. Like, you are where you are supposed to be right now.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah,
I love that. What has meant to be, and the fact that you just talked about that whole patience. It might, for some people, might be like, fuck, man, this guy's doing this, or like, this is happening. But this is 35 years and X amount of days I've been on earth to get to this point. Not the last 4 weeks or whatever, that I've just started. Everything that I have experienced in my life has got me to this day. For whatever reason I experienced or I had to go through, I'm here because of it. And that's some patience. Like, it's been, like, it's, again, fucking ebbs and flows, ups and downs, but ultimately that's what it is, right?
Yeah. But sometimes you just got to kick yourself and be like, hey, you got to be patient. Because I feel like when you try too hard, it doesn't happen for you.
Yeah.
But when you take a step back and you just let things flow, and that's when you start seeing like, oh, wow, like, I'm already getting the results that I want, or that I've always wanted, is when I don't try as hard, when I don't try to force it.
Yeah, 100%, man. Yeah, I have this thing where I sometimes have like a second version of me.
Okay,
it's like the observation. They're looking at me, and when you, what you just said there about like stepping back, it, and it's like when it's like your awareness. It's just sitting there, or behind you, taps you on the shoulder.
Yeah.
Hold up, brother. You want to just fucking hold up a little bit, man. Press pause and then check yourself a little bit. But patience is, oh man, that's a quality that I think a lot of us, could always be working on. Because, if you look at the day, even with schedules, there's always an agenda. And your intention for the day could just be like, have patience. You don't I don't have to finish. Sometimes the finish, it doesn't have to happen, I listened to something the other day about being present, and a really cool quote that came out of it was, the point of arrival is now. And essentially what it means is whatever you think where you're going to be or where you are, it's good to have that, the goals and that, because that, will manifest what your intentions are. But don't let the past dictate who you are now. Don't let the future hasn't even happened. It'll unfold accordingly. Your point of arrival is right here, because if you focus on the right here, that's like right now.
Yeah, because even when you get to that place in the future, you're going to be looking at the next point. What's the next thing? And I've seen so many people trapped in that.
I've been trapped in that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I do find I catch myself. I'm like, hey, I think like that. I'm thinking like that. Like, what's going on, man? Like, fucking snap out of it.
Yeah. We've been ingrained to think that society's like, again, seeking. What don't we have?
We need more. Yeah.
We need more. We're not content.
Yes. Looking at what we don't have instead of what we do have. Yeah. It's just, that's massive. I know. I'm looking at your microwave now, and I'm thinking like, in terms of patience, like we've been ingrained in the society these days that we get everything instantly. All you have to do is jump on your phone, order something at Uber Eats and it comes straight away. You can chuck something in the microwave. But we know the best things come. The best things in life is when you wait. You're patient.
Yeah.
When things come in the slow cook.
Oh, bro! And a good slow cook's a good slow cook, man.
Yeah, man.
That shit melts.
Or you let things marinate.
Yeah, that's actually the first thing. Like, I remember being at the boat shed. I remember having that conversation with you and Estelle, and I was talking about something that was challenging me.
Yep.
And you were like, "Just sit with it, brother." And I was like, "Sit with it." I remember leaving, bro, and I was like, "Fuck." What does that mean?
Stop being you. Stop looking for the solution.
Yeah, which is what I think.
That's me too.
We've spoken to that before, bro.
That's me too, man.
Solution? How the fuck? How do I fix this? How do I fix this? And even in like a conversation, in an argument, I'll talk to my mum, anyone for that matter. And if something's wrong, she says something. Man, I had a hard day at work. Straight away, I'm like, well, mum, if you do X, Y, and Z.
And try to solve their problem.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's like they just want to be heard and seen, and it's that patience to just like let that flow, and just you don't always have to come up with the answer or this be solution or problem fix everything. Sometimes the process is just to let the process happen.
Yeah, I've caught myself maybe twice on this podcast trying to not be that guy it's probably slipped through. But, I hear you, man. And I do feel, especially as, in the professions that we are, the corporate, like, you've got to be naturally solution orientated, which is good. But, you've got to catch yourself, especially when people are dropping in from here.
Oh, man. 100%, brother. 100%.
Yeah. Bro, was there anything else that you wanted to touch on?
I think I could talk all night, to be honest. Like, if you really wanted to.
Is there anything on your heart, man, that you wanna speak about? Like, there's no time limit. That's all good.
Yeah, look. For me, I think one thing that has been really on my heart, and I feel this brings me so much gratitude and so much like So much feeling of like joy that, you know, when you actually step back on with things, it makes me kind of warm and happy just knowing that like it's there and you can tap into it. And for me, that's fucking connection, man. Which is, you know, part of this cause as well, is like to get to that place of wanting to sometimes be vulnerable or reach out or be your authentic self, is connection with yourself. And however that looks for a lot of people, it comes in various forms. But that was one thing I dismissed a lot, because I would try and connect with other things, external things, even just like how I looked. I used to fucking buy so much, like spend so much money on clothes and everything, and to be this person that I thought would be accepting, and I just wasn't. Instead of going out there, instead of going in here, I was going out there. So yeah, man, connecting for me has been massive. You know, like we've spoken about it tonight, whether I connect with myself through meditation, connect with myself through breath, like fuck, breath, just even those 3 breaths before like calm me down. It just comes in so many forms, because I think once you can get that connection with yourself, then your intention and connection with others, man, that becomes so genuine. And not to say that I haven't been genuine, but it comes from such a good place.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's all we really want, really, like as humans, bro, is like we want to be seen, be heard. But
yeah, man, relationships
is
the community
huge,
is like
bro.
I would say it's probably the most important currency there is out there.
Yeah.
You know?
You can't buy that shit, man.
No, you can't. And the system, you know, just shows that, you know, money talks. Whereas in actual fact, yeah, like you said, relationships and how you foster that is being genuine. How you be genuine in the work.
Yeah, 100%.
Tapping into your true authentic self.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is 100% correct, man. That's huge. And for you to just stumble upon that from a sunrise.
Oh, fuck, I know.
That's amazing, you know. Yeah. So there's hope out there for you listeners. Just got to come to a sunrise.
Come to a sunrise, brother. Yeah.
But you've actually got to do the work. There's no breakthrough without, you know, some realizations, and sometimes they can be some pretty powerful fucking realizations, eh?
Yeah. Actually, just touching on that. When you want it, like for people that are listening to this, like the work, it might sound like if you have no idea, or like what the hell are they talking about with work, right? Like, how do I do this? Like, how do I get into it, right? Because it could sound like quite a daunting thing. And I remember, bro, the first sunrise, this was like in the middle of COVID. No one was meant to be leaving the house, let alone catching up. And the brother Leroy was like, yo, come to this breathwork, like sunrise, and like it was only meant to be him and I, Davey, and he was like, oh yeah, I think Davey's bringing someone else. Bro, rocked up down at this, so we're down at this sunrise spot, which we'll go to down La Perouse, and I'm here driving, and it's one way in, one way out. You got to literally loop the car park. And I remember like I was like, oh fuck, everyone's seen my car. So I either had to like somehow maneuver in pitch black, go backwards, which you can't because it's all bush. I probably would have crashed the car, or loop through the car park where everyone was standing. And then like, and I remember going past, I was like, fuck man, I'm just going to have that fear, that unknown of like what the hell that was. But I had the belief that I was doing something to benefit my human spirit, and, you know, what I had to step into, you know,
that's powerful, man.
Self-develop who I am, and be a better person. And sometimes that's all it takes. Like if someone reaches out with the intention of doing something good, next time just be like, actually, why not? What do you got to lose other than time? And I know time's a massive commodity for a lot of people, but fuck, you know, if it's one thing, 1 hour, 20 minutes, you know, what do you got to lose? Because you never know, like, this is me.
But that was because you put self first. And it's paid dividends. So, I don't know. Is there a message in there? You know? And I guess
Chooseday to choose me every day.
Yeah, man. And I guess just a disclaimer for you people that are wondering if we social distance at that. Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
we social distance. Obviously, we put the arms out and we made sure that, you know.
Yeah. Universal hugs.
Yeah.
Those the universal hugs.
No, fuck that. We didn't social distance, so come at me.
Man, that was... Bro, I tell you what, man, like, for anyone that wants to, you know, like, I'm going to share this experience because I think that was a really powerful thing for me that really caused a chain of events to happen the way it did. And that breathwork session, bro, I mean, admittedly, the week before I had an experience with the brother Leroy, which we can talk about another time, which that, you know, opened the gates to something.
Yeah.
But that following week, I was like, fuck, I'm going to fucking jump into that. I'm not going to dip my toe in. I'm going to fucking dive straight in. If there's a rock at the bottom, there's a rock at the bottom. I'll deal with it then. And I still remember as soon as we did the breath work, and when breath work occurs, there's generally the people that, you know, participate, and then there are guides that support and hold space, you know, just to ensure that whoever is doing the breath work is in a safe, guided environment. And a few of the brothers, the brother Leroy was above me. I knew that he was there because he was like, you know, first time. I felt safe, and halfway through the breath work, he was just like, bro, put his hand on my chest and was like, just fucking go deep, bro. You know it's in you. And straight away, I dropped from my head to my heart and fucking let go of that ego. Because at the time, I was like, fuck, don't know these guys. They must think I'm weird. What if I'm feeling this? What if I cry? Like all of these stories. All these, it's COVID, everything.
Yep.
But as soon as I let go of all of that, all these fucking stories and the head noise which we have on the daily, you know, and it's been so apparent in today's life, you know, bro, something was just that this energy flowed, and I let it all out. And for me, it was, you know, it came in tears, joy, like it was like a release of fucking trauma. I couldn't figure out what the trauma was, but it was just pain that I'd just been carrying for so long.
Yep.
And since then, I've obviously been unpacking it. But the beautiful part about that at the end was like, I actually, like, someone gave me a hug straight. I had my head down, and one of the brothers fucking hugged me. And he's like, bro, I fucking love you. You know, I've got you. I thought it was Leroy. And it was Sean. I was like, opened my eyes. I was like, who's this random guy? It's my ego creeped back in. I was like, oh, what does he think? Oh, fuck. And he's like, bro, I've got you. And that sparked a new neurological path in me that I was like, man, I'm accepted. Whatever I just did, that's been accepted. And that just landed for me right now.
Wow.
Right now. I felt accepted because I just fucking was who I was. I fucking cried. Some shit came up. As soon as I stood up, another one of the brothers, random brothers, fucking gave me a hug. And bro, men hugging each other, random men.
It's not normal, apparently.
Like, just having that support. And you might have it, you know, like your support in other ways, but like that idea, that concept alone shifted my thinking. And I was like, man, that day, I left that day and I was like, holy fuck, what the hell? That was crazy. And since then, man, it's just been one thing after another. Because once you set your intention of choosing yourself to do better for yourself, the manifestation of things from the universe will come in accordingly. And yes, you're going to get some fucking hurdles. You're going to get some daggers. You're going to get everything and anything that's going to stop you from that journey of bettering yourself in the best way possible. But you know your intentions as you wake up every day. If you've still got that, man. And I still look on those moments and I'm like, if I hadn't done that, I could have, where the hell would I have been now? I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
You know?
Most definitely wouldn't be here.
Nah, talking about this. So, fuck, man. Like, I just had to share that because, that brings me a lot of gratitude.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah, man.
I do remember that morning, and it was powerful because I was actually in the breathwork with you as well. So, we have all the answers that we need.
Yeah, 100%.
We don't need to go externally seeking. We have them. And it's just about us tapping in and continuing to tap in, which is what you've done. So you've only come to this point of sitting here with me because you've continually practiced, you know, the inner work. You know, you're going through that journey, whereas, you know, you could have just stopped. You could have just said, oh, fuck, this is not for me. And gone back, which happens, but
it's okay sometimes.
It's okay. It's just timing.
And,
you know, it's all, everyone eventually clicks. It's just not, you know, it just needs to be the right timing. So.
And for those listening, just because it doesn't land for you now or later doesn't mean that you're not a good person, or, you know,
absolutely.
Or you don't. That's never going to be for you, because this work will come into your life when it should. You know, good things take time, but I always say, you know, great things take a little bit longer, and things happen when they should. And so,
absolutely. Every time we practice, you know, whether it's anything with breathwork meditation, I feel like it's the gym for my spirit. You know, it's like my spiritual side going, you know, me working out that, you know, so even though I might not look like it, was spiritual bodybuilder.
I got yours. You know you're there. You tap out to tap in, and fuck, man, that's powerful.
Oh, that's awesome, bro. And was there anything else you wanted to touch on?
I think that's it, man.
Anything?
Like, other than that, one other thing, actually, I just want to thank everyone, like, from the bottom of my heart. Like, I know I say this all the time, but I want to actually say on this, and, like, firstly for you, Lewis, like, I fucking love you, brother.
Love you, brother. Thank you so much, man.
I love you, brother.
Fully received, bro.
I've said this so many times, but, like, the people that have come into my life has really fucking lit my flame to be whatever it needs to, and I'm constantly grateful for it. And sometimes it might not come across that way because I get, you know, shrouded with the matrix as such, but without the support and all of these things that I've learned and the connections I've made, man, like, I actually don't know where the hell I fucking be, man. And ultimately as well, like, the biggest thing is, like, I want to be the best person who I need to be for my family and my partner. And
absolutely,
if I didn't have some of these, man, like, you know, how I would deal with things would be probably a lot worse. I'm not to say that like I'm, you know, doing things that I shouldn't be, but it's just, you know, day-to-day stuff, which
100%.
might seem so minuscule, but so monumental in the big scheme of things. So fucking thankful, my brother.
Oh, bro, I'm thankful for you, man. Thanks, huge acknowledgements for you to come on this podcast. Like, it ain't easy, but you done it. We're here.
It's done.
It's done
now.
What will be, man. It's been written, and you know, this is going to help so many people, man. They're going to pick up tools, and they're going to be able to, you know, apply. Even if it's one thing, they'll be able to take that away and improve their life. And that's the whole intention behind this podcast. Is really just to help people that need it. You know,
share a story to create your own.
And it's going to be in the airwaves forever now. So, no, huge acknowledgements for you, bro. Thank you so much for leaning into discomfort for the benefit of others. So yeah, I guess where can we find you on socials, man? I'd like you just to give a quick rundown of obviously how they can donate to Chooseday to Chooseday or the cause, and even your other your main page, so we can show you some support, bro.
The cause, guys. I mean, it's under, if you just look up my cause / Chooseday, the number 2. And then Chooseday, 2 separate words, but 1 word, obviously. Chooseday to Chooseday, and then I've got also the Instagram page, Chooseday to Chooseday. Details are in the bio.
I'll chuck the links up in the description.
Yeah,
but I just love it when it comes from from you.
Yeah. But everyone, for all of those, and by the way, one other thing, thank you for all those that have donated and sent heartfelt messages. Like, really, it's amazing. Like, it's so amazing. I can't believe it. But remember, nominate someone if you feel like they, this workshop could work for them, because essentially, like, that's what it's about, getting people to this. Because if we can get more people to this, to just learn more about themselves, and they might not take anything away from it, but at least be in that space to be able to allow themselves. So,
just to know that there's a space where they can be them.
Yeah. So, yeah, man, thank you, and nominate. Like, let us know. Send Davidson from Amend, he's one of the co-founders. Drop him an email, just say, hey, I've donated. We're not going to ask you who you are. Just, hey, you can trust, obviously, that, and if, you know what, you don't even have to donate. Just
reach out.
Just reach out, because if you think that there is someone that might need that, like, and they might not have to go to the workshop. It could be just a sunrise that we go to, or even just to catch up with one of whoever, someone to talk to. Like, it's just as important. They don't have to go to these workshops. So yeah. And
we'll be able to run with you.
Yeah.
Right? Or like, not the whole way, but part of the way.
Look, if I'm crawling, if I'm walking, if I'm jogging, somehow I'll get there. But if you guys are going to be, and I'll drop the details as far as locations.
Okay.
But essentially from Coffs Harbour to Miami in Queensland, which is where it's going to finish up. I dropped locations of where I'm going to be.
Sweet.
But it's going to start off most mornings probably pretty early, so we're looking about 5ish.
Beat the heat,
man. That Queensland heat, further you get up, man, it's savage. So whether you can get in, and then I'll definitely be going in for a swim somewhere, get some ice packs on and a coffee. And if you don't want to do any of the running or the walking, man, I'll be there for a coffee afterwards. But yeah, man,
all good.
Thankful, grateful for everything.
Likewise, brother. Thanks, DB. Appreciate you coming on to the podcast, man. We'll see you in Queensland.
Yeah, exactly, every day. One other thing, leading up to Chooseday to Chooseday, I'll be doing just some runs, just some, to clock up some Ks. So, this Saturday, it will be at Mahon Pool.
What's the date?
Saturday the 12th. Saturday the 12th. I'll be doing a run around Maroubra. I've dropped it in my Instagram. It'll be a pretty casual run. Even if you don't want to run again, it's one of those things that if you want to come, you want to come.
Sweet. All the details will be on your socials?
All the details. And then, there'll be a couple of more of those leading up to it. And it's just more, if you want to kind of get to know what this is all about and you want to just feel the vibe or connect or just, see what this community is about, then come along. No pressure. That's it.
Beautiful. All right, bro. Love you, brother. Thanks for coming on, eh?
Thank you, brother. My man.
See you in the near future. Thank you everyone for tuning into this episode of the podcast. If you listened to this far, really appreciate you. So don't forget, go and jump onto the internet and support Darwin's cause. You can support him financially. You can follow him on his run. All his socials will be in the links in the description or in the description of the podcast. But yeah, that's it. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode. Peace.